If you're going to have the audacity to put the word great in the title of your product, it better be ready to perform. And that's why I feel very confident coming up here and telling you that the Great White is just that, a performance oil paint that will bring your painting to the next level. So what is it that makes the Great White special? Well, this is going to be your workhorse white. There are many different types of white paints on the market, and each of them have certain things that make them unique. Titanium whites are super opaque, zinc whites tend to be more transparent, better at blending. There are Kremnitz whites, there are flake whites, all different types of white paints out there. But if you wanted to just narrow it down to one paint that's going to give you the brightest white possible, that's going to give you the maximum opacity, that's going to give you soft and beautiful mixtures, you need to try the Great White oil paint. This is a premium oil color, and it's made with a proprietary blend of white pigments and safflower oil in a computerized Buehler triple roll mill, a first in its kind. It is made right here in the United States, and it is going to be a staple in your studio. If you've ever used like a permeable white before, you know, a white that combines multiple different types of white pigments with safflower oil, you're going to find that this takes it to the next level, because the Great White is using the latest and greatest when it comes to manufacturing techniques, technology, and raw materials, things that were not available even just a couple of years ago. This paint is going to perform for you like nothing you've ever seen, and it does not matter what brand of paint you use. It doesn't matter if you use the least expensive paint in the world, the most expensive paint in the world. This paint is meant to work with any type of oil paint that you might have to bring your art to that next level. Just look at some of these comparisons. I mean, we're talking about going from whitish to white. And of course, if you don't always need that stark white, it can be easily toned down by just adding a little bit of whatever color you need. People get a little confused when they see a paint that they're being told is a premium quality, but it's not very expensive. The reason for that's fairly simple. White pigments in general are not that expensive compared to other pigments. You'll always find them to be a Series 1 on any list. It's this proprietary blend that's been put together along with the safflower oil that's going to give you a beautiful finish that will also be flexible and also not crack or flake over time, and also completely non-yellowing when you compare it to other whites on the market. The opacity of this paint is without question a testament to the pigmentation. These are heavy, heavy tubes of paint. And if you've ever worked with something like a lead white, you know how heavy those pigments can be. Well, there's no lead in this. This is completely lead-free, but you will be amazed at how opaque this paint is when you compare it to other whites on the market. And about that white, we talked about safflower oil. Now, it's not just regular safflower oil, it's ultra clear safflower oil that is going to be the most resistant to yellowing and give you that brightest white, not just in the moment, because the artwork that you see that was done maybe just a couple of days or weeks ago is always going to look its best. But what will this look like in 100 years? What will this look like maybe in 30 years? It's important that you know and you trust that that white will stay as super bright as possible. This ultra clean safflower oil will yield the cleanest results. So when you're using the Great White for your mixes, you're going to find that it gives you the cleanest, brightest mixes possible. Now, of course, a paint that is this jam-packed with pigment, you know already it's going to be great for impasto, heavy texture, opacity, but don't think for a minute that without a little bit of solvent or medium that you can't knock this down to give you the most subtle glazes and tints possible. It is a workhorse of a white paint, and it will work for any variation of techniques that you might want to use. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this is going to be your go-to white in any oil painting you do. And I think any oil painter will see amazing results and benefit from trying Great White oil paint.